give it to Bank of Ghana. And I was thinking, trying to find out when he became a police officer to do this. But the statement reflects genuine commitment to economic stabilization, not backed by guns, but backed by policies and measures. But the full realization of these policy potentials are very important to the challenges of external and internal conditions. And I must say that it gives opportunity to look at a blend of rhetoric and political efforts. In my early days in economics, I was told by my lecturer that exchange rate is a function of other factors, which includes balance of trade, which includes inflation, interest rates, foreign direct investment, government debt, etc. A lot. And to address the exchange rate issue, we need to look at all these factors. And I'm happy my doc mentioned exchange rate. I am looking at it from the balance of trade. That is what I'm going to consider its impact on the exchange rate we are talking about. And I think I'll start with from a few things here. The media, can you help me out? Can you move the slide for me? I have 15 minutes to do this presentation. Can you move the slides for me? Okay. I'm sure it's up. Yeah, go ahead. Can you control it from there for me? Okay. So you can skip the agenda. I will be looking at a few things on key mineral laws, Ghana export promotion, and I'll be looking at the performance across regime as well, for us to understand what we are looking at now. If you look at the background here, anytime we enhance capacity, export capacity, and then reducing import dependency, the result is that it improves balance of trade, and that is able to help stabilize the currency. That's the key thing we need to know. There are a few things when we talk about balance of trade. It's just the difference between two things: the monetary value of exports and that of import over a certain period. I must also say that, in fact, this forms a major part in our balance of payment portion of a country. But any time we have countries are buying more, to be literal, to come down to a level, when you are buying more from a country, from the world, what happens? And if a country at the world is also buying more from you, you have a problem with your currency. Over the years, we have seen that we buy more from other countries than the other country buying more from us. So we are looking at Cedi appreciation and Cedi depreciation. That's very important. This gives us, anytime we talk about value of export, that's if you take export, imports, the balance of trade. You can speed up for me so that I can finish on time. If you look at trade surplus, anytime we have a surplus, what does that mean? It means that the exports are more than the import. And you have a lot of things that will happen. When you have this, it means that you can increase your national income, your GDP, you can strengthen the domestic currency, you can also accumulate more foreign reserves. Then when you have a deficit, it is the opposite of what we are talking about. All right. In Ghana or the rest of the world, we have never had a balanced trade. It's difficult in rare cases to have a balanced trade. So that needs to be established. And if you go back, you now understand that Major export of our country, for Ghana, we export a lot of gold. We export gold. We export cocoa, oil and gas, timber, wood, national exports. And then we have minerals. In terms of our export, time may not permit me to look at the countries that we traded and all that at this stage. You come back to laws. I brought these laws for us to understand because that will feed into the last presentation. There's a key mining law here in Ghana that needs to be looked at, and that's the solution we'll profile at the end of our presentation. That is law, PNDC law 153. Let's keep this law very important because I'm sure it's not helping our economy that much in terms of our balance of trade. These are the laws we have in Ghana in terms of minerals. Then, when we come to the regimes, and this is what I spent some time to talk about, across regimes, export and import across various regimes of our country. We've had some fluctuations over the years, our export-import, not stable over the years, as a result of sometimes commodity prices, as a result of global economic conditions, as a result of domestic policy and trade agreements. These are things that are also affecting our balance of trade. Anytime we have a deficit, and I'll show the slide, there's a slide before this, where we have the graph. For us to, there are no graphs inside? Okay. I was just trying to show you a graph that shows the position of our country over the years. Since 2007, that was the essence of bringing the graph for us to appreciate what we are talking about. Unfortunately, it's not there, but I can also try and see if I can have it here. Quarterly, we have seen imports consistently over export. If you look at the quarterly data, from 2007 all the way to 2017, Ghana, we have experienced a consistent export, import over export. And when it happens, what will be the signal? Our students are here. When you have export, import over your export, what happens? You have a deficit. And when you have a deficit, what happens? What are the consequences? It affects your currencies as well. But if you see the trend from 2017 upward, we saw a shift. Exports exceeding import from 2017 all the way to 2024, as of today, giving us a total trade what? Surplus. The figures are there. If you go to World Bank, WDI, you get these values. And anytime you have an surplus, you have your currency also appreciating, going up. Now the question now is, why are we having issues with our exchange rate? Because what it means is that other countries are buying more from you than you buy more from them. So the pressure on your currency should be lower. What then is the problem? That should tell you across regimes from 2000, when our president, former president Kufuor handed over, we experienced that. When our late president Atamir's handed over, yes. When our vice president Mahama handed over, we experienced that. It was only in 2017 that we saw that change. What is the cause of this? Why are we going through what we are going through, arresting the dollar? And I can show you the PND's law. There is a law, an export retention law, a foreign exchange retention law. We can check. The law says that, with the permission, let me read this here. Government of Ghana should review mining companies in Ghana with the permission of Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Finance have the right to retain less than 25% of foreign exchange earnings for acquiring machinery and equipment, spare parts, raw materials, as well as debt servicing, dividend payment, remittances in respect of quota for expatriate personnel. That is the law. We are recording a surplus, but when these experts are sending the earnings, they are required to keep less than, not less than. What is it doing to more than and less than? Not less than means what? Our students. So they are free to export more. And these are huge institutions, mining companies. And I showed you the gold, we export major. So when you are recording a trade surplus, and these funds are also being repatriated, then what happens? Arresting the dollar. Not rhetoric, but it should be backed by policies and measures. I think this law should be looked at again. My stand on this: gold is a leading exporting commodity in Ghana. Therefore, the government of Ghana, in order to save the exchange rate problem, should tighten foreign exchange retention law to the extent that companies reduce the repatriation on their earnings. Apart from speculations, and initially stated that the functions of exchange rates are balance of payments, interest rates, inflation, foreign direct investments, government debt. I am looking at one leg of that. That's a surplus. So as part of what we want to say, we expect that arresting the dollar, for me, is a blend of political rhetoric and policy efforts by our government. We have seen a lot. And if you go back to see the trend, 2017, when we started recording a surplus, we had something on Ghana Beyond Aid agenda in place. I'm looking at some of the things that could contribute to that surplus. Ghana Beyond Aid agenda was in motion. Implementation of Africa Continental Trade Area after started. Trading amongst ourselves. One district, one factory initiative also in place. Encouraging local productions. Then trade facilitations, custom modernization. We have introduced UC, instrumenting the integration. I'm only giving reasons that could probably contributed to that reserve surplus. And then we have about 10 of them. The last one. We have Ghana Export Promotion Authority, give us initiatives, helping the local productions. And then we have digital transformation and e-commerce, investment promotion, and ease of doing business. We have agriculture transformation, export promotion, industrializing, and value addition, climate smart trade policies. In fact, I could suggest that although we are doing well as a country, because SN rate is not sacrosanct to just one factor, there are other factors that are contributing. Addressing those factors could help for us to have a better Ghana to live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Prof. Next, we'll have